How do you market a short? Well, I've always gone the festival route. I've always sent my films out on the festival circuit. My first one, I almost hate to admit, was almost 10 years ago now. I've been doing it for that long. It's called Reflections of a Life, and it was a different landscape then. Not entirely different, but the festival circuit was a little bit different in those days. But it was still not easy to get a film on the circuit. It has to be good, and they have to like it, and they have to want to program it. And it's easier if you've got name actors in it, and if it's well done. But I had been in an internet pilot a few years before that called Confessions, and they had hired a pretty high-level marketing lady to market that, and we'd gotten interviews with CNN and big marketing push on it. It was before, I'm telling you, this was before YouTube. This was before streaming video. So there were two soap operas on the internet that were very popular before there was streaming video available, and all they had was text, and ours was one of them. Ours was called Confessions. The other one was called The Spot. And I was one of the stars of the show, and my face was the icon for the poster and the box and, you know, everything. And we had actual episodes that were sent out on VHS. Back then, there was no DVDs, VHS. So I got firsthand education watching this marketing person market this web series. Now, I didn't realize at the time that I was getting like a first-class marketing education. I had no idea what I was learning, but I paid really strict attention to what I was seeing. And we did all these B-roll interview stuff, you know, press kits galore, all this stuff. And I kept copies of everything that I did with her, and all the press kits and everything. And then when I made my first film, I was like, oh, that's why I kept copies of everything. That's why I was so nosy about trying to figure out what she was doing. Because now I know how to do it. I can copy what she did, and I can figure it out for myself, which I did. I figured it out for myself, and I wrote press releases, and I put a press kit together, and I was able to get a lot of press for my short film. I mean, short films traditionally don't get a lot of press, but I was interviewed on the radio and television, and my trailer played on ABC, and it was like crazy time for somebody who relatively new in the filmmaking arena. It was my very first film. For me to have that kind of exposure, if you will, out on the festival circuit was unheard of. And I didn't realize that it was unheard of. I only after the fact, when I looked back, did I go, oh, wow, I did pretty okay out there. When I had all these friends who were like, how did you do that? How did you do it? And I was like, I was just, you know, like looked at the template of what this marketing gal did, and I just copied it. And then I tried to figure out who to send it to. And I went and I made lists, and I went to every festival that we got accepted to, and then I Googled all the local radio stations, television stations, magazines, newspapers, and I sent my press release. And in those days it was hard copy press kits, and I paid the postage and sent it. And then since then, with my next film, of course, it was all online, and I could email a press release, and it made it easier. And then my next film after that, I could go with PR outlets and write a press release and have it published through a PR outlet and go all over the world. It's just become progressively easier and easier and easier to promote. But you just get a hook, you know, whatever your film is about, there should be something that you can hook people to be interested in, whether it's the subject matter of your film or something about the making of your film, or how you got started making your film, or what brought you to that subject matter, or something about, what do I mean by a PR outlet? Well, there are some PR aggregates that you can go to that will publish your press release widely. So they're just, you write a press release, you put it on. Some of them are free, and some of them charge you money, and you publish your press release, and you can pick what markets you want it to go into. Like, I want this to go to entertainment market, blah, in San Francisco, LA, and Las Vegas, or I want it to go strictly in this market, or I want it to go strictly in that market. And you pick the markets that you want it to go to. But you can Google and find those companies, because they're out there. There's more than one. And it's instant. Once you click go, it's published. I mean, it takes 30 minutes or something, but it gets published almost instantly in those markets, and it's out on the web, and you can Google, and you can get Google alerts to come back to you, and you'll start getting those hits, and you'll start getting them back to you right away. So yeah, probably more effective to do it the way you're doing it individually. Go to the local market where your film is playing at a festival, Google all the individual outlets, the radio stations, the television stations, the newspapers, the local handout giveaway papers, and then their entertainment section editor. Get their email address. If it's not, usually it's available online. Get that email address, send them a short, keep it short, email with your PR interview attached. They're used to receiving that attachment. The press release, PR interview press release. They're used to receiving an attachment, but one page. Keep your press release to one page. Don't send them videos, and don't either that, or have a page on your website for your film that has all your press on it, and send them the link to that page. That's the way to do it. I mean, really, that's the way to get the best response. On my last film that went out on the festival circuit, that's how we did it. Now, lots of times the festivals, if you ask them nicely, will give you their list of PR outlets for the local festival, and you can just put them in a spreadsheet or your local email program, as long as you BCC, so you don't send them an email blast where they're all receiving each other's email address. That's really tacky. So don't do that. Send it all so they don't see each other's email address, all BCC, and send them a nice, here's a link to my press page on my website, or A1 press release, and send it to them, one-page press release. And we got interviews from that. We got interviews at the local film festivals, particularly when you have a local angle. When the film played at festivals where either I was local to that market, or my writer, who was also my co-producer, when she was local to that market, they reached out and wanted to interview one or the other of us, whichever one was local. I have sent them my screener, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's perfectly okay to do, and it's done. But not unless they ask for it. Once you've written the first one, then after the first festival, or two or three, then you have that to write about. You can write about how you've been on the festival circuit. Maybe you've been nominated. Your film has been nominated for an award. Maybe you've won an award. Maybe something has come up in the course of the festival circuit. You've been to one of the festivals and something came out of that, or you met someone there, or it evolved into something else. It came about that in the course of that festival, you met a festival director at another festival and they requested your film. I don't know, but so many of these kinds of things happen on the festival circuit that once you've gone to 2 or 3 of these festivals, something like that may happen that you can then write about that's press-worthy, becomes press-worthy about your film. Obviously, with my film Worth, the thing that was press-worthy about it at the very beginning was not what became press-worthy about it. What became press-worthy about it was that it started winning awards from the very first festival, and it didn't stop. And we wound up going to 31 festivals and winning 31 awards, and it became this thing that was sort of like a thing. It was a kind of a, I don't know, it became kind of I didn't want to jinx it, but at the same time, I wanted to talk about it. And it became a press-worthy kind of thing to talk about that, well, we've now done 6 festivals and won 6 awards. Well, now we've done 10 festivals and won 10 awards. And then you could talk about the different festivals or what awards it had won. So it kind of became a thing for that film. That was like a 2-year magic carpet ride of my career. So I have to say I really enjoyed it. It was something. It really was.